Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me for another Sims 3 speed video where I am back in Sunset Valley and today I am building a rooftop bar. So yeah, it's been a little while since I've uploaded anything, and that's because I've been away. I did say in my Sims 4 speed video, but I mean, if you don't watch the Sims 4 content, you probably wouldn't have known. But here I am back, pretty much, yeah, building this rooftop bar. And I started this, when did I get back? I got back on Tuesday evening, and I pretty much started it on, I think, Thursday, because, you know, I had a really long day of traveling on Tuesday, and Wednesday I just needed the day to kind of get my bearings and kind of I guess recover from all the travel, and then yeah, on Thursday I started chipping away at this thing. So it's actually a very simple build. There isn't much to it, so this video is only half an hour long, so there's not a heck of a lot to the bar. I feel like bars themselves are pretty simple. It is quite a substantial building though. It is 3 stories, and the rooftop bar is of course on the 3rd level. It doesn't go all the way up the top of the building on the right hand side. It kind of sprawls out onto the building on the did I say right hand side? On the left hand side. The taller building doesn't go onto the taller building on the roof of that building, but it goes out onto the building on the right hand side. And I wanted to do a rooftop bar because I feel like this is a great place for a rooftop bar. You know, a bar that overlooks the beach. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's like super high end, but it is decorated nicely. It's kind of got like a plant vibe. There's lots of plants, and there's like a planter that I made using the Sims 3 decorator mod, decorator tools mod. So yeah, I was able to create a planter and just make it look, you know, like lush, and there's some wall plants, and yeah, lots of fun stuff. In terms of fun activities though, I mean, I keep the activities pretty simple. I think I've said this before, where I build venues. I do want venues to kind of be a place to go where it's, you know, there's more, they have like a specific purpose to go there. So I don't really want to put a whole bunch of activities in this bar that, you know, I don't want to duplicate activities for, is what I'm trying to get at. So there is the, I can't remember what it's called, but it's called it's the like the table, not table tennis, the like the, oh, for goodness sakes, I have no idea what it's called, but it's going to come up and you'll see what I mean. Initially I placed a dartboard, but I couldn't really find an appropriate place to put it where it looked alright, because, you know, I wanted this building the bar to look quite nice and organized, and the dartboard made it look a little bit clumsy. So I put the other table, kind of that tabletop game, I don't know what it's called. It came with late night, but yeah, so it's got that activity. It's also got a space for a band to perform, because I do like to play with bands whenever I play The Sims 3, and so I did want this place to have a band, or a space for a band to play and perform. So yeah, I mean, it didn't take me too long to put together. I did cut out a lot of footage of me, you know, playing around with color schemes and different furniture and stuff, just because that was very time consuming, and I did want to really take my time with that process, because, you know, I don't really want to revisit the builds too often. I'm already thinking about revisiting the apartment that I built next door. Just some minor touches to retouching of the exterior. But overall, I'm really trying to make sure that things are the way I want them to be. But yeah, I mean, it was fun to put together, and it's very spacious. There's lots of places for Sims to sit and chill out. There's some music, as well as, you know, it's not just the band. There's also like a speaker there where I think Sims can dance to that. But yeah, they can just come up here, chill out, have a drink, look at the view. And yeah, so I mean, in terms of the style of the building, I've stuck with more of an older style building. I mean, I prefer to build older style buildings. I mean, modern ones are fun too. I actually had a lot of fun building the apartment building, but I feel like these buildings, you know, they just have more of they just have more character. Older buildings in general, even in real life, like I feel like they look nicer than a lot of modern buildings. So I do enjoy building these types of buildings more than any other building, really. But yeah, so I'm just working on the exterior here and just putting the color schemes together. They're both brick buildings. One is like this lighter kind of sandy colored brick, and then the other one is more of a reddy brick, but not so saturated. It's more of a muted red. You could even say it's kind of no, I think looking at it now, it kind of looks like just, yeah, like a muted red. And yeah, just figuring out the window configuration here, and on the ground floor of the building. So there's an entryway to the rooftop, of course, with 2 lifts, and there is also a kind of like a stairwell entrance, like I did for the apartment building, just in case you're having issues with the lifts. Then the Sims can always just take the stairs up to the rooftop section. And yeah, hopefully, you know, that might alleviate, because, you know, I know lifts can be a bit finicky. I do play with modded lifts. Whenever I play with lifts in The Sims 3, there's a mod that actually makes lifts operate faster, so there isn't so much of a delay between the lifts traveling between different floors. So I do use that mod and I don't really have an issue with them, but I do know that there are complaints about lifts in this game. So yes, I am mindful of that. But yeah, the ground floor, I just made those, you know, mostly empty. And as with the other builds that I've done, where I'm not kind of where there are floors that aren't really a feature of the building, like there's nothing really to do on them, then I'll just make them inaccessible. And once again, that's just to be mindful of performance, just making sure that the lot operates smoothly and that the world isn't so overloaded with, you know, just a lot of unnecessary space, or objects filled up, you know, filling up, I guess, dead space with objects or whatever. So in terms of what I'm going to put on the lot next to this one, now I was actually, when I was on holiday or on vacation, I was actually thinking about this, about what to do with these 2 lots in particular. I thought about combining them into one lot, because I am kind of conscious of the fact that I have added quite a few extra community lots to this world, and I know if there's too many community lots, then sometimes it can make you know, it can make community lots seem quite bare, and a lot of Sims go to them because they've got too much choice. So I did think about merging this lot into one, merging these 2 lots into one, but then I decided against that because I felt like, you know, having a rooftop bar on such a big lot would just be, it just would be too much. I feel like this is the right size for a bar. It's pretty cozy, and you know, when Sims do come here, it'll feel like a, you know, like a fleshed out bar. Like it shouldn't feel too like there's too much dead space, or that there, you know, that there aren't enough Sims here or whatever. I have play tested it and it works fine. But in the lot next door, I'm thinking about what I want to put there. I don't think I'm going to put another community lot there. I think I might put another apartment building there, or even just a house that is, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I want to do a high-rise house or what. I don't know, like I'm still thinking about it, but I think I'll make that one a residential lot. Who knows, I might change my mind and do another community lot, but yeah, I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So at the moment I'm just doing this covered area. So this is initially where I put the bar, and I do a bit of a, so you'll see me put this together, but I do make a bit of a change later on. And I think I actually cut out the footage because I kind of did this part of the build and then I did the interior, and then I was like, oh, hang on, I haven't even put a space for any of the musical instruments or like a stage or anything for a band to play. So I had to play around with this a bit, and I think I cut out that footage just because I ended up changing the configuration of the rooftop bar and the interior of the, where the double doors go into, and I changed the configuration of that, and then I didn't like it, so I changed it back, but just kind of rearranged where the bar was and the band was. So yeah, at the moment you'll see me start to furnish, in a moment you'll see me start to furnish the interior, and that's when I kind of put this initial configuration together, and then I change it, but then I do end up changing it back to something more similar. So I'm just figuring out the spiral stairs. Now I really wanted to use these L-shaped stairs, but you can't stack them. Like you can't put one on top of the other, and I really wanted that to be have that here because I felt like it would look nice for a stairwell, but it just wasn't working. I might need to do some more fiddling with that, because even with move objects, the game wasn't having a bar of it. So I did have to go with the spiral staircase, which is kind of annoying because it's quite a big stairwell room and it didn't fit the traditional stairs, and so I opted for a spiral staircase, but then the spiral staircase just looked too small for how big I made the stairwell, and I thought about making the entrance a little bit the entrance to the bar a little bit bigger, but then I felt like that would be a lot of dead space. I really wanted this to be more of an outdoor bar rather than there to be some some interior seating, and sitting in tables and stuff like that. So I didn't really want to make the space bigger. So you'll see what I do in a moment, because on the third floor of the building on the left hand side it is closed off, but I do end up opening that up and just having it as an open space. It's still covered, so there's still a lot of covered seating. Because if this is a rooftop bar and you want to come here on maybe a not so nice day, you can still come here and not have to worry about getting wet or anything like that. But yeah, I was just mindful of there being space for Sims to go where, just in case it was a bad day, that they wouldn't have to worry about getting rained on or electrocuted by lightning. So yeah, now we're just working on the parking lot out the back. Now it isn't connected to a road, but I think what I'll do with the building next door is I'll just make it look like that there is like an alleyway or something that kind of extends all the way out to this lot here. I've called the bar Sunset Rise. Not that creative of a name, but I feel like it fits the style of the lot, because it's a rooftop bar, hence the name Rise, and Sunset because it's in Sunset Valley, and I mean you will be seeing some sunsets if you come to this bar, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm just doing the usual exterior decoration. So we've got some detail out the front by the fake shops, and some decorations out the back as well. Now this is where I'm starting to furnish the actual bar section. I think, you'll probably see me do, I'm pretty sure I show it where I do, the zebra print couches. Initially I was going to do like a quirky kind of themed bar, but then I was looking at like inspiration photos, and I was looking at, much nicer rooftop bars, and so I kind of went for the more, I guess, not traditional, but how do I say it? Like just cleaner looking, not so tacky or kooky. So immediately, I get rid of the leopard print, the zebra print sectional sofas, and I try these chairs here, but these ones looked too bare. Like I wasn't really happy with how they were filling up the space. I really wanted the seating to, really fill up the space, make it look more full and, I guess, detailed or useful. So yeah, and then I chose these coffee tables from Into the Future, but this configuration doesn't stay. I think at this point, this is where I decided to place the like the planter. And initially I go with like a freeze level, and then I just brought it down a little bit and you know, put on some like fake dirt and some plants and a tree. But the only issue is that if you play, like you'll see it a little bit later, if I move the floor down to, because at the moment I'm on the top story, and so the planter is showing all of its detail, but then when I go down to the level below, the planter changes to cutaway view, and so you can't see, or you couldn't see any of the detail of the planter if you were playing on the actual rooftop bar level. So I did change it a bit later on to just be a half wall that I filled with a rug, or covered with a rug, to make it look like dirt, and, you know, use the Sims 3 decorator tools to move it up so it actually looks like a proper planter. And then I put a tree and some, I think they are clovers, those, you know, those green kind of weird looking things. But yes, I went back, so yeah, I've gone back to the sectional sofa that surrounds the planter, and I've changed out the seating to the sectional sofas, and this just looks a little nicer and tidier, and it looks more full. Now I'm just looking for some tables and chairs for the actual bar, which is currently under the covered space. I did want the bar to be undercover. Really the only thing that is undercover is the seating and the game that I put outside as well, but everything else is undercover. Yeah, as I said, just making sure that there are places to go in case the weather is awful. But I feel like rooftop bars are kind of, you know, a place that you would go on a nice day anyway. Like, I can't like, it's like, I do like rooftop bars myself, and that's kind of why I wanted to build one in The Sims 3. But I would never go to a rooftop bar if the weather is crap. So but yeah, I just, you know, just in case you do want to come here on a crap day, then there are some covered areas for you to take your Sims. And so yeah, I've put in the bar, and I'm just putting in these wall plants here. I've layered them so that they go all the way up the wall, and they're sitting in front of the bar. And then I've just got some other random plants just around the place, more like more modern looking plants. So I put in, I think, one of the base game plants to start with, but then I end up taking it out because it looks too much like a house plant, whereas I wanted something a little more modern and, I guess, commercial looking. Just got these lights here, and I think they are from the Old Mill set, Brunch at the Old Mill, whatever it's called. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, in terms of store content that I've used, I don't think I used a heck of a lot of store content. So definitely those lights from the Brunch at the Old Mill set. I also used the windows from the Now and Then Century Manor, and maybe some doors or a door from Midnight Hollow. I'll have to go check, but I'll just list them in the description of the video so that you can actually see if you are interested in purchasing that item, or whatever the items are. So you can see here I've opened up the wall and just made this kind of, so it's still it's still outside, but it's all covered. And I guess, you know, you could say that when this particular bar was developed, the developers knocked out the wall and just made it all an open kind of outdoor space, so that you still kind of get that rooftop, you know, outdoorsy vibe, and but you are undercover. I did try again with some love seats for seating in this area here, but I wasn't quite happy with how it looked. Again, I felt like it looked too bare, like I needed the seating to be a bit more bulky. So I do try again with another love seat that's a bit more bulky looking, but in the end I just change it to another sectional sofa, and I've put a half wall in there just to divide the space, so it's quite clear that, you know, one space is for like a walkway, and then the other space is for seating. And I've put in some more wall plants. I really do love that. Like, I'm glad we have at least one wall plant. Oh no, there's two. Because no, there is two. There's two wall plants. The other one's not very big though, like it's tiny, and you'll see me use that later on. I do put that in this build. Now, in terms of the world, I have been asked about when the world is going to be available to download. And it will, like, I'm just thinking, I mean, if people want it now, I'm happy to upload it now, but it's just, there are probably still some changes that I'm going to make. And if I do upload it now, like, I don't think it's going to be, it probably won't be a like, I won't upload a populated version, just because that's going to be a time-consuming process. Like, I need to use NRUS Porter for that. And yeah, it just takes a bit of time, and I don't know if I could really want to do it twice. Like, I'd rather just do it once, when I'm finished with the world. I mean, there are instructions on how to use NRUS Porter anyway, so I mean, if you do want a populated version, you can always just do it yourself. Like, it's really not that hard, it's just a bit time consuming. So, I mean, yeah, just like, I can upload it now, but there are more things that I want to do with it. I just got building because I was kind of ready to wait, what did I no, I just haven't uploaded it. Wait, no, I stopped doing edits in Creator World because I was ready to start building, but I will do some more Creator World edits once I actually know what community lots are going to go where, and then I might do some more edits around the world that kind of complement the community lots a bit better. That was kind of the initial idea anyway. So yeah, but it's definitely, you know, going to be released at some stage. Like, I'm not gatekeeping this whole entire world. I mean, that's the whole point of me sharing it on YouTube, so that, you know, people can actually get a chance to play it. Can't say much about my Sims 2 builds though, because that was playing with, I did a lot of those builds with custom content that I don't really use anymore. And in terms of Sims 2, like, I am taking an extended break from that game, so yeah, that's a work in progress, that whole space. So I did put a photo booth in here as well. Oh, actually, I think this plant is from the store. I think. I am mindful of the store content that I use. Like, when I was putting this build together, I was trying not to choose a heap of store content. I know these chairs are store content, but I feel like this is pretty light on store content. But yeah, I am mindful of you know, how much store content I use, because, you know, it is still available for purchase. Like, I know you can get it through other means, and I'm pretty sure that store content obtained through, that's not obtained through the store, I don't think it'll work. Like, yeah, I don't think it'll work. So I think you will need to actually purchase the store content from the store for the store content that I've used in my builds. So yeah, I am mindful of that, so I don't want to go too crazy on all the store content that I use, but at the same time, I do want to be able to use it, seeing as I have built up my collection slowly over the past couple of years. So yeah. But yeah, so you can see I've just replaced the seating, and now I've put in the sectional sofas, and I just feel like that looks nice. So I put in some dividers between them, so it looks more full, and I guess it creates kind of like little private spaces where groups of Sims can sit. I do recommend the, what is it? It is it's a mod that makes Sims sit somewhere, so you can tell Sims to sit and they'll stay seated for a certain amount of time, like a couple of sim hours or whatever, in-game hours, and you can also tell other Sims to sit, like Sims that you aren't controlling, and then the Sims will just sit there and talk with each other and whatever. So I mean, if that's like a good use of that space, if you have that mod, just get Sims to sit around and chat. Now I'm doing the bathroom, so there's 2 bathrooms, and a couple of toilets and those. It's not the most exciting, it's just a public bathroom here. Having a lot of fun putting this together. Actually, talking about Creator World, before I actually forgot to mention, I see one of the edits that I do want to make to the world now is I want to remove some of those, the black gum trees that are in front of this lot, because I feel like, excuse me, they block the view. So, and I had a really hard time, you know, doing the panning shots of this building and taking photos of it because the trees were in the way. So I think in the next edit that I do of in Creator World, I'm going to move those trees. I'll probably just move them down the hill a bit because I do want there to be trees on that slope, but maybe not so close to the buildings. Because yeah, then it kind of, those trees kind of, you know, they just get in the way. And now I am doing like the, I guess the entryway to the bar, or the entryway to the lifts that will take you up to the bar. In terms of how I designed this, I wanted it to look like a hotel lobby kind of. So I mean, you could imagine that this is a hotel building with a rooftop bar. It's actually taking inspiration from a building, well, not the look of the building, but the functionality of the building it's similar to the functionality of a building that is close to me. That is, it operates as like the main building operates as a hotel, and it has a rooftop bar on the top of the building, and you actually have to go through the hotel lobby and use the hotel lifts to get to the rooftop bar. So that's kind of the where I got the idea here, was just to kind of make this part look like a hotel lobby. But yeah, it's very basic, you know, simply decorated, because I can't imagine that you'd spend much time in here admiring a hotel lobby. So I didn't go into too much detail here. I just wanted it to look more or less like a lobby. Initially, I just kind of slapped some furniture in and then looked at kind of ideas for how hotel lobbies should look, and kind of came up with a design here. So we've got some nice striped wallpaper or paint, some stone floor, there's a waterfall there, and there's a sectional sofa, and then there's some decorations on the wall there. And yeah, I actually quite like this room. I like the color schemes. I feel like they're pretty cool. And the wall, what do you call it? The wooden wall feature behind the reception desk looks quite nice. I do put a clock in here, look, but I wanted that clock to be centered in that square, but I just realized that it's so low. Like, a clock should not be that low. Like, it just looks a bit silly. I'm going to leave it for now, but I mean, if you download this lot and you're unhappy with the height of the clock, by all means change it. I'm probably going to change it next time I revisit it, but at this point I'm just gonna leave it there and just deal with it, and you know, I'll come back to it later. And move it up a little bit more. But yeah, I wanted it to be centered in that square. And then I think when I was doing the panning shots, I was like, oh my gosh, that clock is so low. Like, it just looks stupid. But I might just raise it and maybe be centered in between the lines. I don't know. Lines of the wood. Anyway, you can see here, so I kind of did a configuration where I put in a band, but I put it next to the bar. And then I was like, I don't like how this looks. Like, I really like the planter. So I reconfigured it all, and I put the planter back, and I just put the band in the space where the bar was, and then I moved the bar underneath the other covered area. And yeah, I feel like this configuration works a lot better. And just, yeah, it's a bit more, well, I mean, yeah, it accommodates the bar nicely, and you know, it still maintains the best of the bar functionality. I don't know, no idea what I'm saying. But here are the other wall plants that I use, I spoke about earlier. So I use those and I just stack them on top of each other. They do overlap a tiny bit. There is a tiny bit of flickering. I can't stand flickering from overlapping objects, but I do make compromises every now and then, and this was one of them. It's not really that noticeable. But yeah, so I'm just redoing the seating, and this is when I come and put the planter back. But then I was thinking, oh yeah, I don't want to use the freeze level again. I would rather just do a half wall so that you can actually, when you are playing on this level, that the you can still see the tree and the plants inside it. I just made it a bit smaller than what it was before because it was quite a big planter, considering the size of the bar. I felt like it was a bit too oversized, but it gets all the same detail. So yeah, it gets the same tree, and it gets some, oh, I'm just moving this plant around somewhere soon, and now I'm putting these, like, I think they're, what are they called? They're like, I'm pretty sure they're like clovers. But yeah, and that's pretty much the end. Now I'm just putting that game, and that's the game that I've been talking about that I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, we are about to come up to the panning shots, so I'm going to leave you to enjoy those and say thanks so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always to bring this to you. I hope you enjoyed it. This is available to download, and it is linked in the description. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say, I don't think, but I will let you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will say take care and talk to you later.